If you record a deed putting your property into your LLC, will your property be reassessed? Or what if you add your kids or a family member to title? Will that trigger a reassessment? These can be tricky questions, so it's always best to check with the county assessor before getting that deed recorded. First of all, the county assessor reassesses all California property on January 1st. Tax assessments are based off your assessed value. And each year, the county assessor is capped at a 2% increase, which is based off the prior year's assessed value. So basically, if you bought your property for $100,000 30 years ago, and now your property is worth over $1 million, you are still only being assessed at a maximum of around $181,000, even though the fair market value has grown to over $1 million at that time. However, as most of you know, when a new sale transaction closes, the new assessed value for that new home buyer will basically jump to whatever that purchase price is that they bought it for. Okay, so back to my original question. When you transfer a property to your trust, to an entity, to family members, friends, will your property be reassessed? Prop 19 will allow for parent-to-child transfers and vice versa child-to-parent transfers to be exempt from reassessment. However, you must make sure to fill out the reassessment exclusion form and submit it with the county that your property is located in. Additionally, you will need to fill out and submit a homeowner's exemption form as well. Prop 19 will also allow for grandparent to grandchild transfers to be exempt from reassessment. However, there are certain requirements that must be met for both. Transferring title between spouses will not trigger reassessment as long as they were married when they purchased the property. And transferring title between former spouses after a divorce in connection with a property settlement agreement will also exclude them from reassessment as well. However, adding or removing someone to or from title that is not your spouse, not your domestic partner, not your parents or your child will likely trigger a reassessment. Changes in ownership involving transfers to business entities. Real estate is often transferred to LLCs or other business entities for liability and asset protection purposes. In order to make this type of transfer exempt from reassessment, the managing members of the LLC must be the exact same as the parties currently on title, and they must continue to hold the same proportionate interest. There is certain verbiage that will need to be on the deed though. It's called an RNT clause, and this one will state the grantor and the grantee are comprised of the same parties and will continue to hold the same proportionate interest. And additionally, on the preliminary change of ownership form, in section 1, letter N, you'll need to check that box, which basically specifies the same thing. Then after recording, the borrowers will contact the assessor's office. They will submit their operating agreement for their LLC, and then the assessor will review it and confirm that the parties are the same and then not reassess the property. When you're deeding the property into or out of a trust, it's basically the same thing. The parties on both sides, the grantor and the grantee, must be the same, and you will need to submit a full copy of your trust to the assessor. They will review it and they will confirm that the parties are the same and therefore not reassess the property. Lastly, I'm not here to give out any guarantees that the county is going to reassess or not reassess whatever transfer you're dealing with. But what I will do is give you phone numbers to all the local county assessors' offices, the property ownership divisions, and I know they'll be happy to help you. If you have any other questions or you're questioning whether or not your transfer might trigger a reassessment, I'm happy to advise you. I'm happy to give you my insight and see if I can help. Have a great day.